They can expect the enforcement to start at the speed limit itself.
5 men have been charged with importing cocaine after half a ton of the drug was found on a private jet at Farnborough Airport. It was discovered at the airfield in Hampshire on Monday on a plane that had come from Colombia. 2 British brothers are among those charged. More than 450 jobs are at risk at Marks & Spencer after the retailer announced plans to close 8 more stores. Another 6 branches already confirmed for closure will shut by the end of April. All staff at those outlets will be redeployed to nearby shops. Arsenal midfielder Mesut Ozil will become the highest paid player in the club's history. He signed a new 3.5-3-year deal to stay at the Emirates until 2021, earning a reported £350,000 a week. The LBC Markets report a short time ago, the FTSE 100 was down 3 points at 75.84. The pound buys $1.41 and €1.13. LBC weather, windy and cold with a mix of sunshine and some heavy showers this afternoon. Sleet and snow over higher ground in the north, a high of 9 degrees. From Global's newsroom for LBC, I'm Thomas Watts.
You're on the touchline, freezing, and as your little girl glides across the pitch and scores in the top corner, you think, I can't feel my toes. You take out your phone, tap the Hive app and adjust the smart thermostat to make sure it's nice and cosy when you get home.
Join over 500,000 people using Hive Active Heating and you could save up to £130 per year on your heating bill. Search Hive to discover more. Hive, let's get living. Hive services require broadband connection. Terms apply.
Overseas travel looking first in West London. The Goldhawk Road in Shepherd's Bush is still closed off because of a burst water main between St Stephen's Avenue and Lime Grove. Better news at the Rotherhithe Tunnel. That's now open again northbound after an earlier broken down car was recovered. In Streatham, the Ambleside Avenue, that's the A214, has a lane closed northbound at Mitcham Lane. That's because of a traffic light failure following an earlier accident. And at Sevenoaks in Kent, the A25, I'm getting reports that there's an accident at the Pinewood Avenue junction. This is on the Seal Road stretch and there is some slow traffic on the approach. LBC Travel, I'm Ross Powell.
This is LBC from Global, leading Britain's conversation with Sheila Fogarty.
Hello, good afternoon to you. I'm fascinated by what Steve Baker said, one of Theresa May's key Brexit ministers, yesterday about the civil service. To my mind, to my ears, it had shades of Trump's drain the swamp about it. He was talking about the civil service in light of this leaked Brexit economic assessment, impact assessment paper that we talked about yesterday. And instead of even mulling over the possibility that all of it or part of it might be right in its suggestion that Brexit will damage the UK economy, instead Steve Baker claimed civil servants were basically a load of old rubbish, really, that they never did anything right, and reports they produced were not to be believed. It just had very much a sense that he was just attacking the very structures that deliver government. That's the Trumpian thing. Do you think that the government is following the evidence on Brexit? And are you concerned at all when a minister of Theresa May's government, she's in China at the moment of course, but are you concerned at all when a Brexit minister makes such a scathing attack on the very institutions plural that actually do what the government asks them to do? 0345 6060 973 the number to call. You can text 84850 or tweet at LBC. Let's have a listen to what Steve Baker said. As I said, one of Theresa May's key Brexit ministers, saying that civil servants had never produced a correct economic forecast after reports that the UK would be worse off after Brexit in that big document yesterday. Have a listen.
My honourable friend, the excellent minister, name me a single civil service forecast, leaked or otherwise, that has been accurate.
Minister, Mr. Speaker, no, I'm not able to name an accurate forecast, and I think that they are always wrong, and wrong for good reasons. And well, Mr. Speaker, they're chatting at me from a sedentary position. My long-standing views on the flaws in the epistemology of the social sciences and the consequences for econometrics are well set out in various forums. So I'd encourage any member to go and have a look at them, and I'm happy to recommend a reading list.
Well, civil servants serve the government of the day, so they serve you and me, is what they do. There are a broad structure of people who work in Whitehall and elsewhere delivering what the government is doing. When you hear with such a sort of flick of the hand at one of Theresa May's key Brexit ministers dismissing the civil service in this way. Does it worry you? Does it show us? I mean, it certainly indicates that he, maybe not Theresa May, but it indicates that he as an individual minister is not considering the evidence on Brexit. He's just dismissing any evidence he doesn't like the look of. And that should worry us all, shouldn't it? 0345 6060 973, the number to call. You can text 84850 or tweet at LBC. Here to talk about this is the former head of the Civil Service, Bob Kerslake. Good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon.
Have you had this kind of thing before over the years?
I've never experienced it so publicly. Of course, there are frustrations inside government, but one of the key principles for civil servants is they serve the government of the day. They're not in a position to answer back as civil servants, and so they do rely on government to respect their role and support them in doing that role. And I'm afraid I felt that the minister had crossed the line here to suggest that all forecasts from civil servants are wrong and therefore effectively you shouldn't take any notice of them is both unfair and actually quite dangerous, I think.
Did you hear, as I did, a kind of Trumpian deep state accusation in his words?
Well, there's a sort of bluntly rubbishing of the expert going on here, and in truth forecasting is a difficult business. We all know that. It's based on a set of assumptions, and sometimes those assumptions are not correct, but it's the best we have, and we have some extraordinarily able and independent-minded civil servants who will give the best advice they can on an issue. And I worry also, I have to say, that there's a kind of implied issue here, not just about capability, but also whether there's some hidden agenda on the part of civil servants to frustrate the Brexit process. And I think that's very dangerous. Whatever their personal views, civil servants pride themselves on supporting the government of the day. As you rightly say, they're our civil servants. They're the public's safeguard of good government, and I'm afraid we need them to be backed up by their ministers rather than undermined.
Should Theresa May publicly chide him over this?
I think it would be good, and you'll recall during the coalition government there were occasions where the Prime Minister then, David Cameron, did vocally support the civil service, and I think it would be good if Theresa May made it clear that she does have confidence in her civil service to give her the independent and robust advice she needs to do her job. I think otherwise you're left with a very difficult position. I also, by the way, believe that having commented on these forecasts, it's untenable for them not to be published. And I notice the government don't intend to oppose the vote in the Commons.
Well, Labour have been pushing for that, haven't they, for the full version of this study?
Yes, they have. And if you have a leak, and obviously all governments try and avoid this, then you've got two choices. You either say we're not commenting on the leak,